presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
With two big wins in hand, the Twins look to take the series tonight in Kansas City. It's Game 3 of the 4-game series inside Kauffman Stadium. With those wins and some help from around the league, the Twins' lead in the second wildcard spot is back up to 2 games over the Angels. Meanwhile, the Royals' playoff hopes are fading a bit, sitting 4.5 games back of Minnesota. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by State Farm. Welcome to Kauffman Stadium, everybody. I'm Audra Martin. After seeing a solid lead in Game 2 last night slip away, the Twins needed a very strong outing from the bullpen, and they got just that from Trevor Hildenberger. It was probably one of his biggest outings so far of the season, but it just comes in what has been a very impressive 4 weeks for the young pitcher. His last 13 appearances have been dominant. In 13 and 2/3 innings of work, he struck out 13 batters, posting an impressive .66 ERA. His unique delivery has been keeping batters off balance, forcing ground ball outs in key moments for the Twins. And yes, he's only been in the league for a few months, but you would not know it with how he carries himself on and off the field.
It's been awesome. You know, he came in and just hit his stride running, and yeah, from his first outing in Cleveland, he was confident right away, and kind of knew we were gonna see some big things from him. So he comes in every day and is diligent with his work and knows what he wants to work on, and that's been the most impressive thing to me. So he asks questions a lot and knows what he wants to ask and puts it to use, and he's just been awesome for us.
Since day one, I've been playing catch with Belial every day, which I don't know how I lucked out with that, but he helps me, find a routine, find something I can fall back on bad outings and stay on top of on good outings, and just try to prepare every single day to be ready.
Still ahead, it's up to Jose Barrios to keep the Royals' bats at bay in Game 3. But can he bounce back after a tough one in Tampa? Dick and Bert have more on the Twins' young gun next.
Sports North is presented by Toyota. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Ram. Go ahead, test our strength now during the Ram Power Days.
Great weather for tailgating, great weather for baseball. Game 3 between the Twins and the Royals. The Twins have built a little 3-game winning streak on this road trip, hoping to extend it to 4. And the weather is gorgeous here in Kansas City. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven as the Twins hope to continue their good play against the Kansas City Royals, and hoping that Jose Barrios can develop some consistency and start pitching more consistent baseball, leading the Twins to a win.
Yeah, what you see out of Barrios is a guy that doesn't have a lot of major league starts. He's still kind of learning here in the big leagues, and really you look at his last 4 starts, we have seen the good Barrios against the Diamondbacks. Against the White Sox, not so good. Another repeat against the White Sox where he was better. His last start coming in Tampa didn't fare too well. 5 runs in 5 innings, so a good is on the line here tonight for Barrios. A guy that has to establish his fastball, mixing that breaking ball. When he's aggressive with a fastball, usually good things happen.
There haven't been many good pitching storylines for the Kansas City Royals this year, but Jacob Junis is one of them.
Well, 7 starts, 5-0. This young man right here has had 7 stints up and down with the Kansas City Royals. Looks like he's here to stay. Over his last 30 innings, only 1 walk. So this guy pounds the strike zone.
Twins playing this series without a Royal killer, Miguel Sano, and Eduardo Escobar's doing his best Sano imitation. Twins looking for 4 in a row on this road trip when we come back.
Hits continues what's been a dominant month at the plate for Minnesota. 2nd in the league in hits, 1st in runs scored since August 6th. And tonight they'll look to add to it as they take on the Kansas City Royals. If there's one guy that can certainly help the Twins add to that dominant month, it's Eduardo Escobar. He's been a workhorse for the Twins, filling in for Miguel Sano. And yes, it's impossible to replace an all-star third baseman, but he's done it about as good as you can hope for. Playing in 24 straight games, he's been nearly flawless in the field, and at the plate, he's been dominant. 27 hits, 14 of them for extra bases. This hot streak has seen him set new career highs in home runs and RBI. And while he is not Miguel Sano, he has been a phenomenal substitute.
Well, you can't replace Miggy. I think that's one of those things you learn in sports, that you lose a key element to your overall squad and how it functions when it's at top grade. And you just hope the guys go out there and try to do what they can do to help you win. And I think Esco is one of those guys. He's smart enough not to try to, get outside himself for the most part. And his steadiness and his at-bats have been plenty good enough for us.
He puts in the work so that he's, prepared for when that time does come. And I think that's why we've seen him have the success that he's had when his kind of number has been called, when it's his turn up. And, he makes sure that he does everything every day to prepare himself, whether he's in there or not. So I think that's, part of the reason why he's been so successful.
Coming up, the Twins hope to keep those red-hot bats going as they go for the series win against the Royals. Game 3 is coming your way next, right here on Fox Sports North.
Already been a good day for the Twins. Two of the teams chasing the Twins have already lost today. Texas and Baltimore losing earlier today. Granted, the Yankees won, but the Twins have a chance to create a little more cushion tonight if they can keep winning ball games. Paul Mahler really happy and with the way this team has responded after getting off to a bit of a slow start. Some frustrating one-run losses earlier this month, but they've rebounded very well. And here is his Menards batting order for Game 3. Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Jorge Polanco, Eddie Rosario, Byron Buxton, Max Kepler, Eduardo Escobar, Jason Castro, Robbie Grossman. The same lineup that the Twins used to win ball games here the first two nights.
Yeah, you know what, here tonight, Dick, we got a couple youngsters going at it. A lot of guys, young guys that don't have a lot of major league experience. Jacob Junis just making his 12th major league start. Now the Twins saw him back on May 21st. He started game 1 in that doubleheader in Minnesota. He got a no decision, worked 4 2/3 innings, gave up a couple runs. He has really come into his own, trying to maybe win a spot for next year.
Royals out on the field. Alex Gordon in left, Lorenzo Cain in center, Melky Cabrera in right, Mike Moustakas back in at third base, sore knee and all. Escobar and Merrifield up the middle, Hosmer at first, and Perez behind the plate. Moustakas DH'd 2 nights ago, didn't play in the ball game last night. He's been dealing with a bad right knee. He's going to give it a shot here tonight.
He's one of those guys. He's a gamer. He will go out there whether he's hurt or not. He wants to be in that lineup and contribute.
Dozier, Mauer, and Polanco to get things started.
Scouting report on Junis' fastball. Good hard slider, occasional curveball, and a changeup.
First pitch pounded foul, 1 strike.
And that's what they say he's been doing. Now he's had 7 stints this year up and down with the Kansas City Royals. Started in the minor leagues, then got called up. So young man has pitched very well as of late.
Dozier takes up and in, 1-1. A little bit different though for the Kansas City Royals. When they send somebody down, it's to Omaha. When the Twins send somebody down, it's to Rochester, New York. Dozier lifts it foul over the Kansas City dugout, 1-2.
Junis made a couple of relief appearances when he first came up for the Royals and then put into the starting rotation.
Down and away, 2-2.
That's the hard slider, breaking ball right there.
They say the most recent version of Junis, he pitches much more aggressively. Doesn't dawdle out there on the mound. Dozier to center. Cain chasing it. He's there, 1 away. Fairly well hit ball for the first out, and that'll bring up Joe Mauer, who has been swinging the bat like a vintage Joe Mauer.
Oh, good to see Joe hitting over 300 again. 7th in the American League, hitting at 306 coming into this at bat. And you can see what he's been doing since August 10th, an average over 400. Best in Major League Baseball. And he's using the whole field. That's what's nice to see.
And as a result of that, he's not getting these weird shifts in the outfield the way the Royals and the White Sox, other teams used to play him. They're playing him pretty much straight up. And he takes strike 1. He reached all 5 times here 2 nights ago.
Didn't it seem like every time Mauer was up, Gordon in the left field would be almost standing on that left field line?
Yep.
Now he's, shading pretty much straight up in left field.
And strike 2. That's about where a left fielder has played for 150 years.
Yeah, but before, he was over maybe 20 feet for Joe Mauer.
Absolutely. 2 strikes to Mauer. In the dirt, 1-2.
Junis, just 24 years old, signed and drafted by the Kansas City Royals back in 2011 out of high school, Rock Falls High School in Rock Falls, Illinois.
And an off-speed pitch gets a swing and a miss, 2 down.
Yeah, change up right there. Joe, a strikeout victim.
And that'll bring up Jorge Polanco.
Pulling the string and at 82, just out of the strike zone.
Polanco with the bases empty and 2 down. Down the middle, strike 1. Nothing overpowering about his velocity or his stuff.
Well, he's a strike thrower. In his last 5 starts, he's walked only 1 batter in his last 30 innings. And he's won 5 of those last 5-0.
2 fastballs taken for strikes. Pretty good first inning for Jacob Junis. A 1-2-3 first with a couple of strikeouts on just 12 pitches. Season series. Twins have won 11. Royals have won 6. 2 games to go. Here's the Menards batting order for Kansas City. Whit Merrifield, Lorenzo Cain, Melky Cabrera, Eric Hosmer, Salvador Perez, Mike Moustakas, Brandon Moss in as the designated hitter, and then Alcides Escobar and Alex Gordon.
And Jose Barrios on the mound, 23 years old, making his 22nd start, his second against the Royals this year. His last start coming July 1st here at Kauffman Stadium. He ended up losing that ball game 11-6. Not a good outing. He gave up 5 runs, 3 home runs in the 5 innings he worked.
Whit Merrifield takes down and away ball 1. Merrifield providing some speed and some pop in the leadoff spot for the Royals, and he pops this one up. Dozier in short right, making the catch, 1 away. Barrios' start against the Royals was one of his disappointing ones in that the Twins gave him an early 5-1 lead, and then saw Moustakas, Escobar, and Moss all hit home runs against Barrios. Then the bullpen had some issues after Barrios left the ballgame. It was one of those bad losses because it looked like the Twins were on their way in the early innings.
And you see why. You saw 102 pitches in the 5+ innings.
1 down. Here's Lorenzo Cain. And a first pitch strike.
And we'll keep an eye on that for Barrios. He has a good fastball. He trusts that fastball now. That sets up the breaking ball.
Fouled back 0-2. When you're in August and September, and you're trying to win a playoff spot, you can't afford to have too many bad series. The Twins had one in Chicago, losing that big 5-game series to the White Sox. Driven to right field, chased by Kepler, and Kepler, it's a fair ball. Cain lightly jogging to second and lightly jogging to third. He's had some groin issues. Now a loose ball in the middle of the infield, and Cain's having a hard time getting around. And Kepler looked like he got very close to making the catch, and the ball landed inches fair.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes Barrios' breaking ball kind of flattens out. Now he's ahead in the count, 0-2. You want to bury that breaking ball, but you can see the pitch. That's a fastball away. Looked like a breaking ball for me, but it hit right on the chalk line. And by the time Kepler could run it down, it's a triple for Cain, his 5th triple of the year.
Missed with the location. Castro wanted it up and in, and it was out over the plate. A 1-out triple, and now Melky Cabrera. Started to say, you know, you don't want to have bad series at the end of the year, but the Twins had one against the White Sox in Chicago and then responded by sweeping the White Sox the next week. And the Twins had a disappointing series with the Royals at Target Field, losing 2 out of 3. And now a chance to do the same thing, come back and have a much better series against Kansas City, responding well to the disappointing first series. 2-0 now to Melky Cabrera. Eric Hosmer on deck. Busted bat and a roller. Cain will come home. And Cabrera driving in a run, is 79th of the year.
And as a hitter, that's all you want to do is get the ball on the ground past the pitcher. You pick up an RBI. So the Royals take a 1-0 lead for Cabrera, his 79th run driven in.
Twins out in the field. Rosario, Buxton, Kepler in the outfield. Escobar, Polanco, Dozier, Bauer, the infielders. And Juan Castro back behind the plate again. Bases empty. 2 down, and Eric Hosmer. Check swing, ball 1.
Hosmer putting together a great year, 3rd in the American League in hitting. He has 50 multi-hit games. Had one here last night. Jose Altuve leading the American League in multi-hit games with 55.
And Berríos falls behind 3-0. 11 pitches for Berríos, just 5 strikes. 3 balls put in play.
Yeah, this year he's averaging 2.6 walks per 9 innings and almost a strikeout per inning.
Green light and a foul ball, 3-1. If this is his last season in Kansas City, it's been his best season for the Royals. Hit in the neighborhood of 27, 28, maybe 30 home runs. Among the league leaders in hitting. Off-speed pitch hits the outside corner, now 3-2.
A good slow curveball right there, yeah. Hosmer 168 hits on the year.
He's not going to catch Altuve, at least you wouldn't think he would. He can catch Garcia rather easily. Full count. And he missed inside. A walk will put him aboard. Bring up Salvador Perez. He's got a short start last night from Irvin Santana, only 5 innings. Plenty of bullpen arms out there, but what you're looking for consistency from Berríos, where they can get to a point where they can count on at least 6 innings from him every time out. Effective innings.
Yeah, Santana only 5 innings. He threw only 67 pitches, but he really struggled in the 5th inning.
Salvador Perez 3 for 10 against Berríos. See if he can get a first pitch strike here. Breaking ball over. Breaking ball fouled back 0-2. Twins, who we mentioned, have won 11 of the 17 games, but the last 4 years prior to this year, the Royals cumulatively beat up on the Twins in the season series 53-23. Breaking ball missed, and it's 1-2. 3 straight curves from Berríos.
Yeah, Berríos making his 5th career start against the Royals, his 4th year at Kauffman Stadium. And he's looking for his first major league win. Good pitch right there. Andy Fletcher calling balls and strikes tonight.
Bouncer to third, backhanded by Escobar. Long throw, and a stretch at the other end by Mauer. The Royals strike first after a 1-out triple.
of the game. And during the break, our good friend Ryan Lefevre with a nice round of applause here from the Kauffman Stadium crowd, broadcasting his 3,000th Royals game tonight.
Congratulations, Ryan. Good man.
Of course, called some Twins games years ago. Worked a lot for Midwest Sports Channel, doing some Gopher hockey stuff in the wintertime. Good man. Eddie Rosario will lead off the second, and Byron Buxton and Max Kepler.
Yeah, a pretty good career in baseball, didn't he, at the University of Minnesota?
Yes, all Big Ten player. Yeah, played professionally, I believe, in the Cleveland organization years ago. Of course, his dad, great National League Rookie of the Year in 1965, Jim Lefevre. Eddie Rosario will lead things off, facing Jacob Junis. They say that he has pitched more aggressively than he did when he faced the Twins earlier this year, when he wasn't managed very aggressively. Kind of felt sorry for him at the time. Ball grounded to second, right at Merrifield. He had a lead. The Twins were having better at bats against him, and Ned Yost took him out after 4 2/3 innings with a 5-2 lead.
And that was his first major league start too. He had made 2 prior relief appearances, but yeah, you can imagine how nervous he was, how he felt, and then taken out before 5 to qualify for a win.
Here's Byron Buxton, who admitted after the game last night that, yeah, his left hand is really giving him some trouble. One of the reasons he was reluctant to swing the bat last night, and he takes strike 1.
And Junis 5 for 5 first pitch strikes, so working ahead in the count.
Byron took 3 called third strikes last night and tried to bunt in 1 other plate appearance. 1-1. And in his final plate appearance, he hit one right on the screws, and Escobar took a hit away from him. He says it's been something that has continued to bother him, even though he got the good report with the MRI over a week ago. Swung on and lifted foul. Hosmer chasing it near the tarp. And he's there. Buxton's retired 2 down. And that'll bring up Max Kepler.
Well, we talked about Hosmer offensively, also defensively, a great first baseman, former or still a Gold Glove winner at first base.
Kepler, the hitter. And he takes a first pitch strike. First pitch strikes, but it's not the same pitch all the time. Right. That was a breaking ball. One and one. 21 games left for the Twins, counting tonight. Got a pitch up, fouled it back. 1-2. On the outside corner. Another good inning for Junis. 6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts, and a 1-0 lead.
Check in our Car Soup scoop from the clubhouse. Why fix what isn't broken? Paul Molitor going with the same lineup for the third straight day, something that has not happened in almost 2 years. He says it's just nice to come to the ballpark and not have to overthink a lineup. Byron Buxton's hand is still bothering him a bit, but Paul Molitor says they're still very confident in the decision to have him play through it, especially because of the value he brings in center field. Robbie Grossman has been trying to throw a baseball with that fractured thumb, but says it is probably going to be a few weeks before he can get back into the outfield. And the Twins are hoping that somehow his return to the outfield will match up with Miguel Sano's return from the DL, guys.
Well, thank you, Audra. And Sano had a good day today. Took some batting practice on the field at Target Field. Didn't do any running today. That'll be the next step as they try to ramp up his activity. 1-1 to Mike Moustakas leading off the second inning.
Yeah, we'll see how that shin reacts.
Driven hard to the right field corner. Kepler plays the bounce and Moustakas has a single. Moustakas still hobbled with that sore right knee, but he's aboard with a leadoff single.
Now, so far the control of the fastball not where Barrios wants it. You can see sitting away is Castro, and the ball down and in, a changeup. Moustakas hitting it sharply, but Kepler playing the carom perfectly and gets it back in.
Brandon Moss, the designated hitter. Popped up, back, and out of play.
Yeah, Moss, one of those power hitters. It's all or nothing. A lot of strikeouts. He'll strike out once every 3 at-bats, hitting only 199. Does have 18 home runs in his first season with the Royals.
There will be another one. They signed him to a 2-year deal, and he's been a disappointing first-year player. Down and in. Awkward catch by Castro. Started with the Red Sox, a couple of years with the Pirates, a year with the Phillies, more notably with the Oakland A's.
Yeah, Castro going out to talk to Barrios because Castro's sitting on one side of the plate and the ball seems to be on the other right now.
That's kind of what we saw from Barrios last year, where his command was off, walks were way up.
Have to control the fastball, especially work that plate where your catcher's sitting. 23 pitches, only 13 strikes.
Fouled away again, 1-2. First 2 months of the year were really good for Barrios. 2.70 ERA in May, 3.21 in June. July wasn't very good. August was pretty good, 3.89, but a disappointing start early in this road trip against the Rays. 1-2 to Moss. That's to left, and Rosario tiptoes toward the line, makes the catch, 1 away.
Yeah, Barrios has pitched a lot better at home than he has here on the road. 8-1 at home in 9 starts, and on the road in 12 starts, this being his 13th. He's 4-6. It's almost the reverse of what Irvin Santana.
Yeah. So you say that and you think, well, why? Why is that the case? How could that possibly be so lopsided that way?
Last year, if I remember right, he was 3-0 on the road, to where he struggled a little bit at home. So sometimes it just falls that way.
Alcides Escobar, the batter, had a good series, has the average up to 245. He's actually had a good last couple months after a very disappointing first couple here with the Royals.
Yeah, this guy likes to swing the bat. Rarely does he take that first pitch. Good fastball, getting ahead. 5 of 8 first pitch strikes for Barrios. Escobar's walked only 13 times in 526 at-bats. So he's up there swinging.
Crack foul, 0-2.
Twins came back late, won a ball game here Thursday night, won last night, and in the first 2 games of this series, the Royals grounded into 6 double plays, 4 Thursday and 2 last night. Berrios not one to get a whole lot of ground ball double plays, 11 on the year. Foul toward the Twins dugout. Still 2 strikes.
Well, you're ahead in the count right now. You know, you got a guy up there that does like to swing the bat. You're going to throw him a breaking ball. You got to make sure it's on the other side of the plate. Allow Castro to try to block it. You know, Kane hit an 0-2 pitch for that triple that scored the only run. So 2 is the curveball. Keep it down.
And Escobar takes it.
Good pitch.
One and 2 to the Royal shortstop.
Watch Castro move inside, inner half of the plate, fastball.
Fair ball right over the bag. And Rosario field. Moustakas trying for third, and the throw going to second. It's a double for Escobar. So the Royals playing this game at right angles. Kane dropped a triple on the foul line in the right field corner, and now Escobar hits one right over the bag to left.
Well, you see that ball didn't get in far enough at 92. They want it up a little bit, and Escobar opened up quickly. Credit Escobar for that. And Rosario may have had a shot at third base because of Moustakas, but he decided to went to second.
1 down, second and third. Alex Gordon at the plate. Twins bringing the infield in, but they only have to bring it in about halfway because of Moustakas' right wheel. And a fastball, strike 1. And every once in a while, Gordon's batting average bobs above the surface of 200, then it'll dip below. It's been a very frustrating year for Gordon. Check swing. And Joe West said he went.
Berrios needs a strikeout right here. Ninth batter, he's not had one yet.
5 innings, 7 strikeouts against the Rays, but they strike out a lot against everybody. This would be a big one if he can get it. Breaking ball inside, and it's 1 and 2. Got ahead of Escobar and then lost him to a double. Popped up. Rosario with a long run and can't quite get there. Came up a step short on the warning track.
Well, it would have been a great catch. He went a long way for that ball. Just came up short. As a pitcher, you kind of walk behind a pitching mound and allow your infielders, Escobar, Polanco, and Rosario, let them catch their breath.
Then throw Gordon a better pitch and strike him out.
I got to go down with that curveball again, down and in. See if he can strike him out there.
A piece to stay
That ball
alive.
had too much of the plate.
Gordon 35 pitches thrown for Berrios and only 4 outs.
Yeah, Gordon has struck out 107 times and 415 at bats.
See, the middle infielders only have to cheat in about halfway. With the sore need, Moustakas at third base. 1 and 2 again. Check swing. And now it's 2-2.
Can't make a mistake here. You have to make a good quality pitch.
Fastball up and in, and now it's full with Merrifield on deck.
Oh, this is, he has confidence in that curveball. That's like that first one that Gordon took, that good curveball down and in. Gordon may swing through it. Gordon's sitting dead red right here, meaning fastball.
He's also hitting ninth for a reason, and Orioles walked him. Loaded up now with one down, and Merrifield to the plate.
I'll tell you what, this guy has really come into his own. He played in 81 ball games last year, but since he's been called up, he has kind of taken over. Last year, played a lot of different positions. Now they have him at second base. Earlier this year, he had a 19-game hitting streak. It's tied most in the American League with Altuve's 19-game hitting streak.
Last night, Trevor Hildenberger got him to hit into a big double play later in the ball game. Barrios could use one here. Inning is starting to get away from him. Breaking ball, ball one. 21 pitches already this inning and only one out. Foul back 1-1. Last night it was in the 7th inning. Hildenberger came in with the Royals surging, ready to catch the Twins, or so it appeared. 1-1.
I'll tell you what, the Royals, we've seen them, Dick, over the years. They're a good fastball hitting ball club. You have to be able to get that breaking ball over and make them chase some breaking balls.
One and one to Merrifield. That's through Castro, and Moustakas can't come home. 2-1. Ball went right through the legs of Castro to the backstop, but then almost carrying back to the grass.
Yeah, watch the ball right here. Does it hit the plate, skipped right in front of the plate, and then stayed down right through the wickets of Castro, but Moustakas, bad leg and all, went back to first or third base.
Rios a little bit on the ropes here in the second inning. 41 pitches, 24 strikes, but they're loaded up with one down. Walked a man in each of the first two innings.
You can't get the breaking ball over. The Royals are going to sit on that fastball.
Three and one.
And Neil Allen on the phone. Early call.
Three and one to Merrifield. Off the plate and foul. 3-2. Rios has had some good games against some good teams. 4 starts ago against the Diamondbacks at home. 7 innings, only 2 hits. And he retired the final 13 batters.
Again, this is one of the clubs that has given Barrios some headaches. Okay, this is his 4th start here at Kauffman Stadium. And in the 3 previous starts, ERA at 7.9. 3 starts, only 13 2/3 innings, 12 earned runs allowed.
Base is full. Count is full. Double play grounder, 1 and 2. It's just a 1-0 ball game, and the Royals have hit into their 7th double play of this series. Eduardo Escobar had a good night again last night.
I'll tell you what, it's fun to watch him play, only because he brings a lot of energy with him. A base hit in the 2nd inning, his 16th home run in the 5th inning, and then he added a double in the 8th inning. And you mentioned last night that 2nd at bat, he hit a line drive to Cabrera that almost got lost in the lights that Cabrera caught. So 4 very good at bats.
We'll see if he can get something started here. Junis has set down all 6 batters, struck out 3 of them. Escobar, Castro, and Grossman in the Twins' 3rd inning. First pitch strike.
7 for 7.
Deep to right field. He has hit another one, and we have a tie game. Eduardo Escobar's 17th home run of the year.
And every home run is a career high for Escobar in a season. A breaking ball left up, and Escobar did not miss it.
A no-doubter over the bullpen.
Good swing. Solid contact. That's a 1-1 ball game.
6 home runs this year for Escobar against the Royals, surpassing Sano's 5. Castro takes a strike. Castro catching all 3 games, starting behind the plate for all 3 games. And he takes up 1-1. Measure the home run at 405 feet. Fouled away, 1-2. For the Twins, the 175th home run of the season. They'll finish with about the number they hit last year, 200. And that is past a diving Merrifield. Castro's aboard, takes a big turn, and will hold up with a single.
Yeah, it looked like another curveball that stayed up, and Junis leaving a couple curveballs up. Twins taking advantage of it.
That'll bring up Robbie Grossman, designated hitter, hitting ninth. You don't see that very often, a DH hitting ninth. One of the reasons he has been hitting there and has been productive there, Paul Molitor likes his on-base percentage ahead of the lineup rolling over with Dozier and Mauer and Polanco, and it's been working. Squaring and taking a ball. In front of the plate, and Perez fires to first. Grossman will get a sacrifice, moving Castro to second base, and that'll bring up Dozier. Zubaz Palooza is back September 29th. A special ticket package including a game ticket, your very own limited edition Minnesota Twins Zubaz pants. Don't those look nice? I mean, those look awesome.
Yeah.
Take advantage of the special offer. Available exclusively at twinsbaseball.com/Zubaz.
I know you have a couple of the pair of those already.
From the olden days.
Yep. Yeah, Grossman with that bunt, his second sacrifice of the year. Now let's see if Brian can drive him in.
Dozier drove a liner to center, hauled in by Kane to start the ball game. Fastball up. Brian swings, fouls at 1 strike. Dozier checking on Perez. I wonder how many hitters have done that over the years with foul tips, what have you. Guy's a bulldog behind the plate, and now home plate umpire Andy Fletcher checking with him.
I don't know how catchers' thumbs hold up. All the wear and tear.
Inside, 1-1.
You know, when that foul ball is hit, a lot of times it's hit off that thumb part of your glove. Tell you what, he's an animal behind there. 4-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove winner.
Nice backhand pickup, and it's 2-1. With Castro's single, it's the first time tonight that Junis has had to pitch from the stretch.
You know, I didn't credit Perez enough. He's a 5-time All-Star, a 4-time Gold Glove winner.
How about this?
I apologize.
Best catcher in the American League, without question, right?
Maybe in baseball.
Breaking ball over the inside corner, and it's 2-2. Pounded off the plate. Twins have tied it up with a home run. Now trying to play a little National League style ball here. The 8th place hitter got a single. Number 9 hitter laid down a sacrifice. Now Dozier with 82 runs batted in, trying to drive in number 83. 2-2. Checked his swing, nearly foul tipped it into Perez's mitt. 3-2. The 82 runs batted in, leading the team, with Miguel Sano being idle. Sano's been stuck at 77.
Brian last year drove in 99 runs.
Foul tip, and Perez hangs on. 2 down. And that'll bring up Mauer.
And Junis picks up strikeout number 4. Perez wants it away. It's a fastball up.
Brian hadn't been missing that pitch much. Here is Mauer. Seems almost nightly. Mauer's produced a 2-out RBI hit, got a big double in the ball game last night as the Twins were looking for some insurance runs. Chance to give the Twins their first lead here tonight in the 3rd inning. Tapper right side, easy play from Merrifield. The inning started with an Eduardo Escobar home run, and we're tied at 1. You're watching Twins baseball, presented by State Farm. Tying the game at 1, and we now move to the bottom of the 3rd. First to check in on our Sanford Health injury report. Jimmy Nelson, outstanding Milwaukee pitcher, dove back into a bag and popped his shoulder. Talking about a torn labrum. He's done for the year. 12-6, an ERA of less than 3.5. And we've talked all summer long about the resiliency of the Twins. You can use that same word, if you can pronounce it, with the Brewers. Because they've endured an awful lot of hardship. They've been given up for dead many times in the second half. They shellacked the Cubs today. They're only 3 games behind the Cubs in the Central standings. And Barrios needs a better inning, and he starts the inning with a fastball for a strike to Kane.
Well, they got ahead in Kane, then tried to sneak a fastball by him, missed his spot, and Kane hit the triple.
And now a looper to center and a base hit. Kane's aboard. It's the 2nd straight inning where the Royals have gotten a leadoff base hit.
Yeah, Kane, a guy you have to show that you will pitch him inside, because he's got those long arms, and even though it's off the end of the bat, he stays back nicely right off the end of the bat for his 2nd hit.
Barrios has thrown 46 pitches and roughly 40 of them from the stretch here. He's having a hard time getting on track. Here's Melky Cabrera, drove in a run with a broken back grounder his first time up. Ball 1. Don't have to worry about Kane running. We've seen him hobble along both in the outfield and on the bases.
He's having a good year in that department, other than now bothered by that hammy. 24 stolen bases in 26 attempts.
There's a strike.
Good changeup there.
Royals understand the magnitude of this series. The frustration of losing the first 2 games hasn't kept them from running Kane out there when he could probably use some time off. Moustakas got last night, saw game off, but he's back in the lineup today when he's not 100%. But you're not supposed to be 100% in September, are you? If you're a position player?
These guys are hurting. You have a little aches and pains, but you want to play. This is the fun time of the year.
Buxton playing with a sore left hand. Grossman playing with a healing, busted left thumb. 1-1. And flip foul.
You know what they say, you got all winter to rest.
Buxton adamant about staying in the lineup.
Oh, maybe, you know, struggling a little bit offensively right now because of that sore hand, but defensively, one of the best.
0 for 5 last night, but the Twins probably don't win without having Buxton in center
He
field.
made that great catch off of the hitter right here, Cabrera, last night.
Breaking ball locked him up.
And the first strikeout for Berríos.
A highlight reel with some extended play from Byron Buxton.
You know what? They 24 defensive runs saved for Byron Buxton. And a lot of them going back, some of them coming in, not afraid to hit that wall. Last night with Cabrera, made a great running catch. I mean, he went a long way for that ball last night.
Now being bothered by the sore hand. Remember, he missed some time earlier this year with some concussion symptoms with his many collisions against the wall. Here's Hosmer. Missed inside, ball 1. Twins looking for win number 75 on the season. Center drilled to Buxton. Couple of singles, first and second, one down, and let's get the big story from Audra Martin.
Hey guys, take a wild guess what the big story is tonight. Of course, it's the Cleveland Indians. Another win today against Baltimore makes it 17 straight for the Tribe. Today, however, was a bit different. This was the first time during that streak that they didn't score the first run of the game. So a come from behind win to make it 17 straight. They become just the 6th team in baseball history with a streak that long, and the first since the 2002 Oakland A's, guys.
And the Twins ended that Oakland streak. We had an anniversary date a few days ago when Brad Radke pitched that great ball game and beat the A's, and that kind of ended up being kind of a little tease for what would happen in the playoffs. A's won 102 ball games that year, and the Twins eliminated them in the playoffs that year. Here's Perez, first and second, one down. Fly ball, right center field. Buxton, Kepler, and it's Buxton with the catch. Kane's going to try to advance, and he will. First and third, two down.
Nothing but curveballs to Perez in his first at bat. 4 straight curveballs. He hit that ball to Escobar, and right there a curveball that Perez flew out for the second out.
And now Moustakas lined a single off the fence in right, his first time up. Last weekend at Target Field, Moustakas hit his 36th home run that tied Steve Balboni's club record for home runs in a season. He's not homered since. Twins would be thrilled if he did it against the White Sox Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Down and in, ball 1. Gary Gaetti, who played here after his Twins years, obviously, hit 35. A lot of former Twins, in fact, Twins Hall of Famers played toward the end of their careers here in Kansas City.
Craig Gagne.
Well, go back to Harmon Killebrew. He finished his career here. Gaetti did. Chuck Knobloch did. Chuck elected to the Twins Hall of Fame, but not inducted. There are a couple of other notable Twins who finished here or played here toward the end of their careers. Castro steps in front of the plate. In the event Hosmer takes off. 1-1 to Moustakas. Barrios trying to keep this a 1-1 game. And Hosmer goes. Mauer dives to his right, makes a great play to end the inning.
Nice play, Joe Mauer.
And the Royals get a couple of hits, strand 2 more runners, and it is still 1 apiece. Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Scored a lot of runs, driven in a lot of runs, and saved even more runs, I believe.
The way he bounced off the first base right there, holding on Hosmer. Yeah, that's definitely a run saver there.
Another first pitch strike from Jacob Junis. This one to Jorge Polanco. Polanco struck out swinging to wrap up the first inning.
Now 11 of 12 batters he's faced, he's been ahead.
And Polanco with a defensive swing. 0-2. It'll be Polanco, Rosario, and Buxton here in the 4th inning. The Indians won their 17th in a row. We didn't mention they were playing the Baltimore Orioles, dropping the Orioles back to 500, 3.5 games behind the Twins in the wild card standings. Foul back. Yankees beat Texas, dropping the Rangers to 71-70, 3 games behind the Twins.
Yeah, the closest team are the Angels, a game and a half behind the Twins, and they're playing Seattle tonight.
Mariners eked out a 1-run win late last night. 1-2 to Polanco. He got time, no pitch. And now Andy Fletcher hearing some squawking from the Royal dugout.
Yeah, I think Perez too.
One and two. Him out on a breaking ball, 1 away.
Good curveball right there. Junis picking up his 5th strikeout, getting Polanco twice. This is a curveball I was talking about that wanted Barrios to throw Hosmer right there. That good tight one, or Alex Gordon.
with downward movement. Rosario hit a ground ball to Merrifield his first time up. Stroke to right and a solid line drive single for Rosario.
Yeah, if you got a pitcher out there getting that first pitch over, be ready to swing the bat, and that's what Rosario did right there. Third hit for the Twins.
See what Buxton does now. Swung away twice, ended up popping out in foul ground to Hosmer. Ball one. It was interesting talking with Paul Molitor today about Robbie Grossman. Grossman, who's got a bone healing in his left hand, the broken thumb still healing. But Robbie missed about 3 weeks. There goes Rosario. Buxton swings and misses, and Rosario's in with a steal. Not the prettiest slide or the prettiest swing for Buxton. But he protected the runner a little bit, and Rosario's in scoring position.
Well, I tell you, I think they want to look at it, see if maybe Rosario slid by the bag. Good pitch to run on, a breaking ball down. Perez from his knees. You see Merrifield hit the chest. Great pick by Perez.
They're going to take a look at it. They think he
maybe
lost contact with the base.
Right. That left foot hits the bag and then pops off, but
Merrifield did not, keep the tag on him. So this will be interesting. I'm not sure that this is going to get overturned. He dropped the tag, and you see the smart infielders now leave the tag on the runner in the event they do slide off the base. And maybe the Royals feel that Merrifield put the tag on him before he actually touched the base.
Yeah, they're slowing it down here on the big screen.
Boy, I don't know. Contact with the glove was so brief.
I think watch right here is left foot hit the bag and then pops straight up, and then I think he's still got his glove on him.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell from that angle.
Out. So he does not steal second base. He is caught stealing 2 away. That was not a good slide.
No,
I mean, it just
not.
didn't look like a smooth slide at all, and his foot hit the bag, kicked up in the air, and it cost him second base. 2 down, base is empty, and the count to Buxton 1-1. And Buxton bounces a single to left. And there's a pretty good bet he'll take off on his own stolen base attempt.
Buxton with 25 stolen bases, been caught only once.
You see there the value of a third baseman playing in at third base for fear of the bunt, because that was a kind of a routine 2-hopper for a third baseman playing back, but Moustakas was in and he couldn't get there. Here's Kepler, and we'll see if Buxton takes off right away. Not on the first pitch, and it's single to right. And Buxton will round second and hold up there. Ooh, strong throw by Cabrera. 3 straight hits for the Twins, but runners at first and second with 2 down. Join Fox Sports North in the Wild for the breakaway 10K, 5K, and 1-mile run on Saturday, September 16th, benefiting the Herb Brooks Foundation. All participants receive a medal and are qualified to win 2 suite tickets for the Wild Stars preseason game on September 30th. For details, visit foxsportsnorth.com/events. Here is Escobar, just who the Royals do not want to see with men on base.
Escobar got a hanging breaking ball and hit that home run in the 3rd inning, leading off the top of the 3rd.
Missing inside. Hits are even at 5 apiece. Twins have strung 3 singles together here in the 4th. Down and in.
2 straight fastballs after Escobar hit that curveball in his last at bat.
Three and 0. Castro on deck.
Junis has not walked anybody.
Strike call. Great speed on the bases. Hit to the outfield should put the Twins in front. And Escobar collapses, swinging at a breaking ball. 3-2, and now Buxton and Kepler will leave early.
Oh, watch this tight breaking ball right here, almost like a slider. And a downward break.
Took ball 4. And Castro comes up with the bases loaded. 4 straight batters have reached against Junis. Castro singled his first time up.
Yeah, Castro got a breaking ball up and he lined it past Merrifield at second base into right center.
Popped up down the left field line. Gordon should have an easy play. Twins fill them up and leave them full. Still 1 apiece. Allowing us to get caught up.
Well, the RBI right there by Cabrera after Kane got a 1-out triple, made it a 1-0 ball game. 1-1 now thanks to Eduardo Escobar, 17th home run of the year. Both the teams have had opportunities to score some runs, but both pitchers have worked out of jams. Junis 4 innings. Allowed only 1 run, 5 strikeouts. And Barrios, 3 innings. He's thrown 56 pitches. And the Royals have left 5 men on base.
And Barrios has faced 5 men in each of his first 3 innings. He'd love to have a 1, 2, 3, 4th. And he will pitch to the bottom third of the Kansas City lineup, starting with Brandon Moss.
Hey, my wife Gail is down in Fort Myers, Florida for Hurricane Irma. I just want to thank everybody that have sent their thoughts and prayers out to her and our family, and really everybody in Florida. It's going to be a devastating hurricane.
Moss, Escobar, and Gordon. Last time I checked, the eye of the hurricane is supposed to go right up the Gulf Coast, right along the coastline.
Yeah, it's
and
scary. Right near Fort Myers, Naples area, into Tampa.
Port Charlotte.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
But it's so big, it's affecting the whole state of Florida.
And then Georgia
beyond.
and South Carolina, so on and so forth.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers with everybody.
2-1 to Brandon Moss. Hit a fly ball to left his first time up. James Rowson, the Twins hitting coach, left a couple days ago to be with his family in Tampa. And a strike call, 2-2.
I know Jeff Smith, the first base coach, his wife and family are down in Naples. She's a principal at a school, so she's in one of the shelters.
Right. Managing it.
Right.
And Barrios falls behind 3-2. Nothing has come easily for Barrios here tonight.
Just not as aggressive tonight. There's Jeff Smith. Thoughts are on the game, but thoughts are also about the family at home. It's tough. Nothing you can do.
Popped up again. Short left. And Rosario waits a long time, makes the catch, 1 away. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. And Corey Kluber's been lights out for pretty much the second half of the year, but since the middle of August, 39 strikeouts. And Barrios on the list. And the recently traded Justin Verlander also on that list. It's interesting. Verlander trying to provide a spark for the Astros, but they lost the first game to Oakland today. And their grip on the best record in the American League and the home field advantage for the playoffs is slipping away to the Indians, who aren't losing. 17 wins in a row now for the Indians. They are 86-56. And the Astros, with a loss today, are 86-55, and they're playing the nightcap now against the A's. To right field, and that'll carry to Kepler. 2 down. So it might very well be that if the Astros don't win the second game against Oakland, that they will be tied with Cleveland for the best record in the American League. And who would have thought that at the All-Star break?
Well, you win 17 in a row like Cleveland did. They had another spurt, I believe, where they won 9 in a row. Yeah, playing good baseball.
Alex Gordon drew a walk when the Royals filled the bases with 1 out, and then Barrios threw his biggest pitch of the ball game, getting Merrifield to hit a smash into a ground ball double play. To right, Kepler makes the catch.
Good
a quick
inning. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Barrios. Mountain Dew fans of the game. I don't know if they were here last night or the night before, but it's a beautiful Saturday night. Twins hoping to put together a little winning streak here in Kansas City. It's reached 3 games.
Hey, good to see your son Eric here, too.
Yeah, he's here tonight. Spent the summer broadcasting games in Biloxi, Mississippi. Just a coincidence that he got out of there before the hurricane sweeps up through the Gulf and potentially does some damage to Mississippi. Robbie Grossman takes strike 1. Laid a sacrifice down his first time up. Paul Molitor was talking about Grossman and the left thumb and how it was broken and it's still not completely healed, but he explained Grossman's production, particularly from the left side of the plate, because while he was out, he freshened his hands. And you hear hitters talk about that late in the season. They got fresh hands, whether they've been on the disabled list, just had some time off. So here's a guy whose hand is healing, but according to the manager, he still sees fresh hands, quick hands. And now it's 2-2. Whatever.
Well, you think of all the batting practice these guys take on a daily basis, and then they go out in the game and they're ready for that one pitch that they can drive somewhere. Yeah. Some of these guys have 600-700 at bats throughout the season.
You get jammed, you get hit by pitches, whatever, and your hands do take a beating. 2-2. Up high. Junis with 1 walk. It came last inning to Escobar after the second out. Grossman among the league leaders in on-base percentage. And he hits a tapper to Merrifield. 1 down. With Dozier coming to the plate. 2018 season tickets are on sale now. In addition to securing your spot for next year, you'll be guaranteed postseason tickets for this year. And you'll also receive 4 tickets good for any remaining regular season home game this year. Don't miss an inning of postseason play and experience exclusive Sweet Spot benefits like 10% off food and beverage at Target Field. If you'd like more information, go to twinsbaseball.com/season tickets. Dozier takes a first pitch strike.
15 now of 18 batters first pitch strikes. So working ahead in the count.
Driven to left. Gordon makes the catch. A bullet got to him in a hurry. Out number 2. Second line out for Bryan. And that'll bring up Mauer.
Junis making just his 12th major league start, his 16th appearance. His second start against the Twins here at home at Kauffman Stadium in 5 starts coming into this game. 2-0 with a 3.62 ERA. You know, Ian Kennedy last night, I think he's 0-8 now here at Kauffman Stadium.
Another first pitch strike. Joe swung at the first pitch in the 3rd inning and tapped out to Merrifield.
That's outstanding. 17 of 20 first pitch strikes.
Another tapper to Merrifield. And a 1-2-3-5 for Jacob Junis.
The 5th inning, and Twin fans, don't forget at Twin home games to bring your Circle Me signs. You may find yourself in a Minnesota Lottery winner's circle where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
We're tied at 1. Jose Barrios has set down 5 men in a row. And he'll face the top of the Kansas City lineup, starting with Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, he needed last inning, only 9 pitches to get the 3 outs. Right now with 65 in the game.
Breaking ball left up and in, ball 1.
Barrios with a couple walks, only 1 strikeout.
Two and 0. Mentioned it's been a good day for the Twins already because the Rangers and Orioles have lost. The Tampa Bay Rays are losing 9-0 in the 4th inning at Fenway Park. And a strike. Hacked foul.
There's a good fastball inside.
Concerned the velocity's down. It's not 94, 95. We've seen 91 to 93 basically.
Yeah, I don't think he's as sharp tonight as we've seen him in the past, but that's a good pitch to Merrifield because why? A lot of Merrifield's hits have been to right field. So you want to pitch them hard in. They're trying to go inside again, but this time too far inside and too high.
1 walk issued, excuse me, 2 walks issued by Barrios. Hosmer in the 1st inning, Gordon in the 2nd. Merrifield can run. He's not a guy you want to put on base freely. That's to left, and it'll carry to Rosario. Another line out. Done a couple of those.
Good concentration by Rosario too. Got a good jump off of that.
Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Snowball Express and their commitment to providing hope and happy memories to the children of our fallen heroes while on active duty since 9/11. By bringing children together from all over the world, Snowball Express provides an annual life-changing event to make each child feel special as we remember the lives of their parents. We remember. Visit foxsportssupports.com to learn how you can help.
Yeah, we sure do.
Here's Lorenzo Cain, a triple and a single. Rosario catches that line drive.
Yeah, it's fun to watch good outfielders, especially all these young outfielders the Twins have, whether Rosario, Buxton, and Kepler. The concentration they have to have out there to watch that ball come off the bat and make that first step. Do I go back? Do I go in? And 2 times right there, Rosario came in hard and made 2 line drive catches.
On my score sheet, I had Gordon lining out to end the 4th.
Yep.
Now Merrifield and Cain line out to start the 5th. Here's Cabrera 0 for 2.
You'd say Barrios has them popping up.
Missing inside, ball 1.
Cabrera, the only strikeout victim for Barrios, and it was a call 3rd strike in the 3rd inning.
Now 2-0.
Cabrera coming over from the White Sox in a trade on July 30th. Actually, it's his 2nd stint with the Kansas City Royals. They also played here in 2011.
Back to Barrios. And he's got 8 men set down in a row. We head to the 6th in a tie game, and you're watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm. But we know the weather is terrible down in the Florida area. The Red Cross depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. You can help people affected by the hurricanes Harvey and Irma by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 and make a $10 donation. And then we're somewhere out there is Jose, right? Yeah. Waiting to veer someplace, we hope out in the middle of nowhere. Strike one to Polanco. Junis has struck him out twice with breaking balls. Polanco, Rosario, and Buxton here in the 6th inning. Just missing outside, 1-1. Pitch count good for Junis, just 66 pitches thrown. He thought he had strike two. Squaring and bunting, foul, and it's 1-2 now. Two and two. Mentioned at the outset there hasn't been many good storylines in the pitching department for Kansas City this year. Yordano Ventura's tragic death in the offseason. On the outside corner, got it that time. One down.
Yeah, change up right there. So Polanco, 3 strikeouts against Junis, and Junis now has 6 in a ball game.
Fox Tracks presented by Ram.
Wow,
a foot outside.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Not good.
One down. Here's Rosario. Lined a single to right. Eventually was thrown out trying to steal.
He jumped on the first pitch in the 4th inning, got a base hit.
Speed pitch over for strike one.
And another strike. 19 of 22. First pitch strikes.
With the full assortment of pitches. And Rosario was ready for the fastball, but he missed it. 0-2. Driven to left center field. Kane won't get there in time, and Rosario has his second hit.
Yeah, an 0-2 pitch right there. Junis tried to get that fastball by him again that he just swung through, and Rosario, a little quicker, gets his second hit. Pitch out over the plate, and Rosario just slapping it the other way.
And Buxton stands in with Rosario at first and one down.
Remember, Rosario tried to steal a base in the 4th inning, was called out on a replay.
Curveball over the inside corner. A better slide would have left him safe at second. Then the Twins followed with 2 singles and a walk.
If you remember that, though, too, I mean, Perez had a little backhanded curveball in the dirt. Made a good throw.
Big swing and a miss.
You know, you're talking about Grossman when he swings and misses. He said he feels that thumb once in a while.
Right-handed.
Right-handed. I bet the same thing for Buxton.
Took a swing yesterday. He said it really bit him hard, you know, and he says it's just a matter of pain tolerance.
Yeah.
Some swings don't bother him at all. 2 strikes and a flip to first. But you can tell that it must have really been bothering him last night for him to take, I think, fastballs in each case for a called 3rd strike. Fouled back. Just off the plate. That's 1-2.
Well, that's where you want to miss when you're ahead in the count. Now, Junis does have that high leg kick.
Rosario back to first. It's interesting when you have a 4-game series, at least one of the days with the Royals, you'll see the catchers, the backup catchers, plural, in September, get some workout time because they don't get a chance to play with this guy behind the plate. But that's part of their workout routine, throwing to the different bases. Buxton fouls another one back. Yesterday, Drew Butera was out here, and it was just practice because he plays maybe once a week. And the practice was throwing back, picking to first and third and second. That's all part of what they try to do to keep their catchers fresh.
Yeah, the other Gallagher was a backup catcher also out here.
Two and two to Buxton. Rosario goes, pitches up, and Rosario this time is thrown out with a head first slide.
I don't know about that one.
And now the Twins might want to have this challenged.
Well, it looked like Merrifield got Rosario once his hand was on the bag.
And they're not going to challenge it.
No, second time that Rosario was thrown out. Yeah, right there, got him on the leg before Rosario could get his hand on the bag. This time he went in. He dove into the bag rather than feet first.
And now it's 3-2 to Buxton, who singled to left right after the stolen base attempt last time. And another foul. And Byron's left hand coming off the bat. I think that one bit him a little bit. Tenth pitch will be coming in this at bat. Junis trying to complete the 6th inning with just 5 innings his last time out. A drive to left field on the 10th pitch of the at bat. Buxton connects with home run number 14.
Second home run for the Twins. The second run scores. The Twins take a 2-1 lead thanks to a couple home runs. And keep that baseball. Don't you throw it back. Pitch left middle in at 93. Byron opened up, got it airborne. The Twins take a 2-1 lead.
And now Kepler. Fouling it down the left field line, 1 strike. So who've gotten the big hits here on this road trip? In tonight's game, the Buxton home run might be the biggest hit of the ball game, and he's got a bad hand. Grossman's picked up a bunch of big hits with a healing left thumb. I read somewheres where Lou Gehrig passed away, they did an autopsy and they found like 22 fractures in his hands and wrists. Backhanded nicely by Escobar, and a throw across to get Kemper. Twins enjoying their first lead on Buxton's home run, and it's 2-1.
Is presented by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. And by State Farm, here to help life go right with the home and auto protection you deserve. They got Byron Buxton's home run ball, and that home run has put the Twins up 2-1. Jose Barrios has set down 8 men in a row. There have been some loud outs, and he'll try to cut through the middle of the Kansas City lineup here in the 6th, starting with Eric Hosmer. Another liner, this one down for a hit.
Boy, I tell you what, he looks so comfortable at the plate, Hosmer does. His second base hit and a walk.
Third leadoff single for the Royals. And now Barrios will face Salvador Perez.
When he came in third in the American League in hitting, has that high leg kick, weighted back on that breaking ball that just kind of went from east to west. No bite on that breaking ball. And Hosmer took advantage of it.
Perez will bat. Counting his innings pitched at Rochester this year, Barrios has thrown now 168 innings on the season. Outside ball 1. Last year, mainly in Rochester, he threw a total of 169 in 2/3 innings.
With his stuff and the way that he works out, he's a guy that hopefully will work many years at 200 innings plus.
Back to Barrios, to Dozier, the 8th ground ball double play for the Royals in this series. And we're only halfway through game 3.
Oh, we saw Kyle Gibson turn a double play here the other night. A little hopper in front of him right there. Perez hits it right back to Barrios. He knows who's covering, and that's the second baseman, Brian Dozier. A flip to Brian, and the relay, another double play.
The point bringing up his innings pitched, because he's such a workout fanatic, he hasn't had any arm injuries at all. I don't think the Twins will be the least bit concerned about his innings total moving forward through September and hopefully into October. Remember, a couple of years ago it was Tyler Duffy, and they were concerned. Organizations typically don't want to increase the workload more than 10 or 15% from one year to the next, but Duffy was so effective and he hadn't had any history of arm problems, they just let him go. 1 strike to Moustakas, and now 2 strikes. One other quick pitching note. Adalberto Mejia pitched tonight for Chattanooga. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 5 shutout innings for Mejia. He may slide into the rotation very quickly. Up here.
Yeah, Ryan Presley, Buddy Boshear's up in the bullpen. Good outing by Mejia then.
Popped up near second base. Polanco wants it. Rios hasn't been very sharp. 1 run allowed through 6 innings, and a 2-1 Twins lead. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Hernan Perez with 5 runs batted in with the Brewers romping at Wrigley Field over the Cubs. Number 54 for Giancarlo Stanton, as he seems inevitably on his way to 60, 61, or 62 home runs. And who knows, by the end of the season, Rhys Hoskins may catch him.
Good to see Cincinnati or Philadelphia. You know, hopefully that young man will have a great career.
Barrios has settled down. Escobar taking inside as we begin play here in the top of the 7th. Activity in the Kansas City bullpen, no activity in the Twins bullpen. Escobar with a big swing and a foul, 1-1. Look at those numbers, 333 with 6 home runs for Escobar. Mike Minor, the first reliever, warming up. Pitch up and Escobar fouled it back. And Yo said today that they're going to skip Ian Kennedy in the rotation. He's had kind of a fatigued shoulder, which is one of the reasons they pulled him after 3 innings last night. Just outside, 2-2.
Yeah, they said he tried to pitch through it, and it's something that has been lingering for a while.
And Escobar chases one away.
And Junith picking up his 7th strikeout. Had a career 8 strikeouts 2 outings ago against the Rays. That's no surprise.
Fox Tracks presented by Carrier, a pitch that was about a foot up and away. Castro with a single and a fly to left.
Yeah, but that's the same pitch that Polanco was called out on. Remember?
That's true. Castro came up with the bases loaded in the 4th and hit a fly ball to left. He takes up an in ball 1. Twins started the day 2 games ahead of the Angels in the wild card standings, sitting in the 2nd spot. And a former Twin, Andrew Albers, will try to help out the Twins tonight. He's making the start for the Mariners against Andrew Haney. Up, and it's 2-1. Mariners hope to get Felix Hernandez and James Paxton back next week. Inside, 3-1. Grossman on deck.
Yeah, Junis with 94 pitches. 2 times this year in a couple starts he threw an even 100.
Walked just 1. That was Escobar in the 4th. Driven to right, and that will drop in front of Cabrera. And Castro on a nice little hitting streak here, getting a couple hits a game. The
Here
last
comes
few
Ned
games.
Yost.
MLB.TV Premium back better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout, other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. A pitching change with Mike Minor coming into the ball game to pitch to Robbie Grossman with 1 out in the 7th.
A lot of big hits, both right-handed and left-handed.
That started in that Tampa series where he hit a home run. He kind of carried it here into Kansas City where he hit a home run here. So over the last 4 ball games, Grossman hitting .462. And he's scoring some runs. Mike Minor coming into the ball game. He worked here a couple nights ago in relief, of course. 1 shutout inning, threw 14 pitches, 10 for strikes, making his 57th relief appearance. What the Twins saw from Minor, good fastball, hard slider in his 2nd season with the Royals.
Castro at first, 1 down. Up, ball 1. Grossman filling the DH spot since his return. Eventually, when Miguel Sano comes back, and we're optimistic that he will come back, Sano figures to do the bulk of the DHing. Grossman squared the bunt, took ball 2. And it may coincide with Grossman's ability to grab a baseball and throw it. And then against some tough lefties, he may see some time in right field for Max Kepler. But the first thing that has to happen is Sano needs to be able to play baseball again. 2-0 to Grossman. Fouled back, 2-1. Again, Grossman's left thumb is the healing thumb after breaking it in a collision in right field with Byron Buxton. Two and one. Twins looking to pad the lead here against the Royals. Inside, 3-1. Dozier on deck. Outside, ball 4. First and second, 1 down here in the 7th.
Yeah, Minor coming in, walking his 19th batter, 2 intentional in 67 innings, so control has not been an issue. But he walks Grossman there.
And now Dozier hitting .328 against left-handed pitching this year. Takes strike 1. Bryant's hit the ball hard twice, lining out to Keane in center in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, then he hit a liner to Gordon in the 5th.
He did not face Minor here on Thursday night.
One and one. Five left-handed relievers for the Royals right now, 6 righties. Fouled back. 1-2. Ground ball headed up the middle. Escobar with the flip, relay, double play. Beautifully started by Escobar. He nearly tipped over, and he was able to make the play, flipping it from his glove to Merrifield's. And the Royals turn a big double play in the 7th. The game, the Twins up 2-1.
See the RBI infield out by Cabrera. Made it a 1-0 lead in the first inning for the Royals. Escobar with his 17th home run tied the game with a home run in the third. And then in the 6th inning, Byron Buxton got a pitch airborne into the left field bleachers. Twins take a 2-0 lead. Jose Barrios has settled down nicely. You know, first 3 innings, Barrios threw 56 pitches, but over the last 3 innings, only 25.
Brandon Moss has hit a couple of fly balls to Rosario in left. And a pitch up. Moss fouled it straight back. It challenges logic to think that Moss would hit 18 home runs and drive in just 36 runs. Well, he's not hitting much, less than 200. But he's driven in 18 other men than himself in over 300 at bats.
Bad timing when he hits a home run. Moss coming over from the St. Louis Cardinals, where he spent a couple years.
2-1.
Twins saw him a little bit when he was with the Indians and the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox. That's who he came up with back in 2007. 152 career home runs for Moss.
Two and one. Missed the fastball. They've kind of rotated DHs here. Of course, Billy Butler was here for a long time. They let him sign with Oakland, and Kendrys Morales had a couple of productive years here. They let him go and tried to catch lightning in a bottle with Moss. 2-2. Mauer to his right again, and Barrios covers one away.
Another nice play by Joe Mauer.
One gone in the 7th. Let's check in on Audra Martin.
Well, guys, you were just talking about Jose Barrios and how big he is on his exercise routine. A huge part of that is running. So much so that when he pitches at Target Field the next morning, instead of driving to work, he will actually run to the ballpark. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly where he lives in Minneapolis, but it's about 3 miles from his place to Target Field. And he says that he does that because he really believes that you should never take a day off, even if it is, you know, meaning a day after pitching a really long ball game. If it goes really deep in the ball game, he's still going to wake up and run to the ballpark the next morning. Now, his wife is very supportive. She drives the car to the field so that he has a way to get home afterwards. But that kind of workout routine is exactly why you hear these Twins players say he's one of the hardest workers they've ever seen. Guys.
Roller to short. Polanco fires 2 down. Well, now that must make you feel good because you did a lot of long distance running, right?
Yeah, I did. You know what? I think Barrios knows the importance of his foundation from really the gut down of really pushing off that pitching rubber. So yeah, I hope this kid right here, he works his rear end off. You know, we were in Tampa the other day. He's running the stairs,
right? Yep.
Up and down, up and down.
The day after,
right?
Day after his start, yeah. 2 down, and here's Alex Gordon. He's walked in line to right.
I don't think he'll ever take where he's at for granted.
No. And we should tell our viewers that you still run long distances now, but at your age, long distance is a relative term, right?
To the icebox and back, yeah.
Retreating as Rosario going back and caught a game-tying home run by Gordon. Just his 6th of the year, and it's 2 apiece.
Well, it looked like Gordon got a pitch away and went with it.
Changeup.
That ball just kept drifting and drifting. Rosario looked like first he maybe had a shot at it, but ends up in the bullpen of the Royals.
Little bit of breeze blowing out to left, and it might have been enough to help that ball over the wall. It's 2-2, and now here's Whit Merrifield with 2 gone in the 7th. And Merrifield taps it foul. First home run since the 3rd of July. 169 at bats between home runs for Alex Gordon. Both Shears and Presley warmed up. Toward the hole and through for a hit. Royals aren't done yet. Kane will bat with a speedy runner at first and 2 down.
Merrifield picking up his first hit. Yeah, Merrifield with 28 stolen bases in 31 attempts. He stole a base here in last night's ball game.
Kane will bat. And a slicing line drive that landed on the foul line in the right field corner for a triple. He scored the first Kansas City run and singled sharply to center in the 3rd, lined out to Rosario in the 5th. So he's had some good swings against Barrios here tonight. '92nd pitch of the night for Barrios. 59 strikes so far. Strike 1. And Merrifield chased back to the bag.
Yeah, Barrios has that high leg kick, so Merrifield's going to try to take advantage of that. Rusty Kuntz, the first base coach.
5 successful steals against Barrios in 7 tries. Long hold by Barrios. And finally Kane asks for time. Barrios doesn't have a pickoff. Angels and Mariners game is underway at Safeco Field.
Barrios trying to keep Merrifield close by holding the ball a little bit longer, a couple throwovers.
One strike to Kane. Castro. Pitch out that was almost over the plate. So the Twins feel something's up here. With the speedy Merrifield at first and 2 down. Merrifield goes, swung on and missed. Castro's throw right on the bag.
Wow, great throw.
Perfect throw by Jason Castro to end the inning. Not a good night to try to steal bases. The Twins are 0 for 2, and now the Royals are 0 for 1. 3 weeks to go. I think he's got a real good shot at 60. Joe Mauer to lead things off in the 8th in a tie game. And the first pitch, a fastball up, ball 1. Gordon just hit a home run. It's kind of a Joe Mauer special. You know, to left field. Well, maybe Joe can answer with one of his own.
You know, Mauer did face Minor here on Thursday night. Got a base hit off of him.
Nice strike called, 1-1. Mauer looks back at Andy Fletcher.
Let's take a look at the last pitch.
Strike 2. Been about 4 weeks since Joe's hit a home run. It was in Detroit back on the 12th of August. 1-2. Roll to the right side. Merrifield trying to cover it. Turns and fires. Hosmer's foot off the bag, and Mauer will get an infield hit. Merrifield made the play, but Hosmer couldn't hold the bag.
Well, Merrifield had to go a long way for that ball. He was shading Joe a bit up the middle. And Joe pulling this ball in the infield. How far Merrifield has to go, and then spins around and to throw a little bit up the line, which pulls Hosmer off the bag. Great effort right there. Joe picking up his first hit. Twins pick up their 9th.
See what Polanco does here. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. All of that as a left-handed batter. Squaring and dropping down a good bunt. It hits the edge of the grass and rolls foul.
It stays on the grass. You may have a bunt single, but that ball on the grass and the rotation of the ball spun it foul.
On this road trip, Polanco's gotten a hit and a sacrifice, bunting, popping the ball up in the air. And in this bunt attempt, he rolled it up the line and it hit the edge of the grass and rolled foul.
You see 5 sacrifices on the season.
Sacrificed Grossman in the 3rd.
Moustakas at 3rd, playing about even with the bag. Sure, he'll creep in once the ball is delivered home, which he is.
Squaring again and a good bunt. Minor looks at second, fires to first, and that's his Twins' second sacrifice bunt. Again, Polanco hitting out of the 3rd spot in the batting order, gets a sacrifice, and Mauer advances to second. September 29th, 30th, Fan Appreciation Weekend presented by Target. On Friday and Saturday, the first 30,000 fans receive a Twins stocking cap, courtesy of Target. For details and tickets, visit twinsbaseball.com/tickets. Here's Rosario. Rosario with singles his last 2 times up. The Twins' runs have come on home runs. One by Escobar, one by Buxton. Fouled over the Twins' dugout, out of play.
Yeah, here on Thursday night, Rosario ended up striking out against Minor. Almost the innings almost starting the way it did. Mauer on Thursday night, a base hit against Minor, then the sacrifice bunt by Polanco. See if Rosario can do better than he did here the other night against the left-hander.
Big gap in right center field for Rosario.
Minor's going to call out Perez with a runner at second. Minor had shoulder surgery last year. He missed most of the season.
One strike. Breaking ball gets a swinging strike 2.
Guys, when I say missed most of the season, his only appearances were in the minor leagues. Even though he signed a 2-year contract with the Royals, they took a chance that he'd come back healthy, and he's put together a very solid year out on that bullpen.
0-2. off the end of the bat, and it'll stay foul. Paid attendance tonight, 29,991. One and two to Rosario. Got him upstairs. 2 down.
They went with a good fastball. 96-97.
Nowhere near the target. Up out of the strike zone, and Rosario chased it. Buxton will be intentionally walked to get Kepler to the plate. We'll see if the Twins respond with a move.
Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Mitch Garver will hit for Kepler. And Kepler's difficulty hitting left-handers comes into play here, with the Royals trying to get this game to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 2. Dave Island to the mound.
Yeah, I think a little scouting report right here on Garver. Garver as a pinch hitter, 0 for 2. 7 hits in 32 at bats so far for Mitch Garver, with a double and a couple triples.
Last homestand, he rocketed one to center field. It was in the Kansas City series, and Kane tracked it down short of the warning track in a pinch hitting appearance. Chance to get a big hit in a playoff push. Inside, ball 1. Twins had a threat in the 7th inning. A 1-out single and walk. Escobar made his nice play to start a double play. One and 0 to Garver. Tap back to the mound, and Minor to Hosmer to end the inning, and the Twins strand 2 in the top of the 8th, still tied, and you're watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm.
had his good stuff tonight, but he battled.
Yeah.
You know, that's what impressed me about Jose's appearance.
Zach Granitson left with Eddie Rosario moving over to right with Kepler out of the ball game. And on the mound, Ryan Presley has been really stingy, both in terms of issuing walks and giving up hits lately.
Yeah, Ryan making his 49th relief appearance. 14 walks, 4 intentional with 54 strikeouts in 53 1/3 innings.
Kane will bat, leading off the Kansas City eighth. And a 96-mile-per-hour fastball.
Of course, Ryan with that good fastball, then that hard breaking ball, occasional changeup.
Talked about Berrios' struggles on the road. How about this for Presley? A 1.80 ERA on the road. He's had problems at home this year. Fouled, and it's 0-2. The main thing with the mechanical adjustments that he's made, he's rediscovered command that was lost late in spring training. And it took him literally about a half of this year to get things straightened out.
You can see Ryan pulls that hat down as far as he can. Good curveball right there that Kane just fouls off.
Two strikes to Kane. Duffy and Boshears warming up. Duffy pitched last night. Oh, 0-2. Driven to right, a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. A fastball, and Kane hit line drives all night long. Gets one here to start the 8th inning.
Kane picking up his 3rd hit.
Time now for tonight's State Farm combination. Since August 25th, the bullpen quartet has been really, really good. Hildenberger, Rogers, Presley, and Belisle. Guys typically asked to pitch the 8th and 9th innings, and now Presley will have to try to pitch around this leadoff single. Terrence Gore is going to run for Kane.
Yeah, the speedster at first base.
Cabrera the batter. Rios did a nice job holding Merrifield in the 7th inning, allowing Castro eventually to throw him out. There's a pitch wide, ball 1.
Probably seen Gore this time of the year. Ned Yost used him as a pinch runner. Outstanding speed in the minor leagues. He's had a lot of success in the big leagues.
Now 2-0 with Escobar charging at 3rd base. Top half of this inning, we saw the Twins' 3rd place hitter drop down a bunt. Now Cabrera perhaps will. Low throw, and Mauer digs it out. Two and out to Melky Cabrera. Hosmer on deck. No sooner said that Presley's been stingy with the walks and the hits. Kane gets a hit. Now Presley in danger of walking Cabrera.
Pitch walk.
First and second, nobody out, and Paul Molitor has got to make a pitching change. So not a good outing for Presley. He's responsible for the 2 runners aboard. And Taylor Rogers will, or Buddy Boshears rather, will come in to try to get Eric Hosmer. 2 on, nobody out. Royals threatening here in the 8th.
And Cabrera, you walked him on 4 pitches. That'll bring in Buddy Boshears. And Buddy Boshears will face Eric Hosmer.
You can experience what it's like to be a Minnesota Viking, kind of, sort of, as you run out of the tunnel and conquer the field. Join the Vikings Saturday, September 16th for the TCO Vikings 5K as you and your friends finish on the 50-yard line of U.S. Bank Stadium. Post-race, runners can tour the Vikings locker room and get autographs from Vikings legends. For details, visit foxsportsnorth.com/events. Royals have hit into 8 double plays in this series, and stands to reason if the Twins are going to get out of this inning without the go-ahead run scoring, a double play might be
in order.
In order, yes.
Well, Buddy Boshears, see if he can get one right here off of Hosmer, making his 32nd relief appearance. First outing or appearance in this 4-game series. A couple times he pitched in St. Petersburg.
Ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Gore will score, and the Royals take the lead. Hosmer on the first pitch hit a ground ball, but right up the middle.
I think all 3 of his hits have been on breaking balls. 2 breaking balls from Berrios, and right there looked like Buddy started him off with a breaking ball. It stayed up, and he lined it right up the middle. So the 3rd hit for Hosmer. And here comes Paul Molitor, another breaking ball. And Hosmer picks up his 84th run batted in.
And so Boshears lasts just 1 pitch. And the Royals teeing off on the Twins bullpen here. They take a 3-2 lead. A pair of singles and a walk. They've taken the 3-2 lead. Still nobody out in the inning. And Tyler Duffy will come in, try to keep this game within reach.
Third pitcher used this inning looking for the first out. Duffy making his 50th relief appearance. He came in and pitched the 6th inning, a clean inning last night. Ended up going 9 pitches, 8 for strikes.
Gave up a base hit to Escobar, who later came around to score. So he was charged with a run. He'll face Perez here with runners at first and second and nobody out. Past Escobar into the corner. Cabrera will score. Second and third, nobody out. And the Royals are teeing off on the first pitches here in the 8th inning.
Perez getting his first hit of the ball game, his 22nd double, and a curveball that stayed up, almost the same type of location that Hosmer hit that curveball off of Boshears. Perez hits it down the left field corner. Granite gets it back in.
And now Moustakas. Twins have to bring the infield in here. They're down a couple of runs. And Moustakas might be walked. And Moustakas is walked intentionally to bring up Moss. And Paul Molitor will reach into the bullpen jar one more time. Presley faced 2 men. He gave up an 0-2 single to Kane, then walked Cabrera on 4 pitches. Boshears came in and threw 1 pitch. And now Duffy has thrown 1 pitch, and he's out of the game. And through it all, the Twins still don't have an out. In the 8th, a single, a walk, a single, a double, an intentional walk. They lead by a couple and a chance to bust the game wide open. Taylor Rogers coming into a tough spot with the bases loaded, nobody out.
You know, he pitched in last night's ball game and he faced 2 batters. They both got hits. Gordon a base hit and then Torres an RBI single. The only 2 batters he faced. Making his 62nd relief appearance.
Twins bullpen's been really good, but not tonight. Not in this 8th inning. Infield in. Moss with the bases loaded. He's gone 0 for 3. 2 flies to left and a ground ball to first. To right. Rosario with a nice catch. No chance for Hosmer to score. And Bauer does a nice job backhanding what would have been an errant throw. Again on the first pitch. This time for an out.
And again, Rosario, we saw him in left field come in quickly. Right here, almost a shoestring type catch as he had to hustle in. That ball had some topspin on it. You know, that looked like another breaking ball. Here comes Paul Molitor. He thinks he's Mike Scioscia.
Well, each pitcher, relief pitcher, except for Presley, has come in to throw one pitch. Boshears threw one. Duffy threw one. Rogers throws one. And if Buznitz can get a double play grounder on the first pitch, he'll throw just one. On the bottom of the 8th, Target Field, of course, a great place to spend time with the people who are important to you. Groups of 25 or more are eligible for discounts on tickets, and per ticket fees are eliminated. Arrange your group of 25 plus today. Visit twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS. Ask about a Twins Target Field group outing.
Well, Alan Boshears coming in. He's done a good job out of that bullpen.
Buznitz coming in for the 20th time. You can see the numbers against righties and lefties both pretty good.
Only 6 walks in 24 innings, and you got the right guy up if you want to only throw one pitch and get a double play.
Escobar at the plate. Notorious first ball hitter. Pops it up to center. Hosmer setting up for a tag. Buxton setting up for a throw.
That ball too deep.
And the throw coming to third base. A 3-run 8th inning. And starting with Hosmer, 4 straight batters have hit the first pitch.
Escobar gets an RBI. That's his 44th of the season.
Well, the good news, all these guys should be available to pitch again tomorrow.
2 runs charged to Tyler Duffy, and the other one so far charged to Buddy Boshears. Excuse me, Ryan Presley, the first 2. And they're going to see if Hosmer left too early. And Joe West said he did not.
Or I wasn't watching. One or the other. I'm guessing the Twins are pretty convinced he left early. A little discussion there between Joe Vavra and Paul Molitor. Gordon takes a pitch. 1 strike. 5 for 9 in the series, and his biggest hit, his opposite field home run into the bullpen to tie the game last inning. Pulled foul, might have cracked his bat. Royals were looking forward to this series to make up some ground on the Twins. That can't happen with the Twins winning the first 2 games. Brandon Marr warming up for a possible save opportunity. 3 runs for Kansas City here in the 8th. First 2 charged to Ryan Presley. Cody Boucher's charged with the other one. And another foul. Twins are due to have Escobar, Castro, and Grossman up in the 9th. And Buzna strikes out Gordon, but the Royals strike for 3, leaving a couple of runners. The first 5 batters reach base. And they score 3 against the Twins pen. Eric Hosmer drove in the go-ahead run, later scored a run himself. It's a 3-run Kansas City lead. Paulo Orlando is in center field replacing Lorenzo Cain. And Brandon Marr comes in to try to save it for the Royals, facing Eduardo Escobar. There's a first pitch strike. Lauer brought on board when the Royals surged late in July, and he has not pitched well at all for his new ball club.
He worked here actually on Thursday night, just the 3rd of an inning, gave up a base hit to Rosario, then struck out Buxton.
The newly anointed closer, at least one of them, Ned Yost, taking Kelvin Herrera out of the closer's role after a couple of disappointing outings against the Twins. And so it'll be Marr, it might be Scott Alexander, but it's not going to be Herrera for the time being. 1-2 to Escobar. 2-2. The numbers for Marr frighteningly bad. 16 2/3 innings, 26 hits, 9 walks, 3 home runs. On the ground, Merrifield's been kept busy in this series. 1 down. And that'll bring up Jason Castro. A couple of runs for the Twins tonight on home runs. That's been it. There have been some other threats. Twins had 3 singles and a walk in the 4th, but a failed steal attempt thwarted that rally.
Moore had some saves with the San Diego Padres before he became a Kansas City Royal. 20 saves and 23 save opportunities.
Castro takes up and away.
See a hard throwing right-hander.
Popped up near the Twins dugout, and Moustakas has no play. Royals bought before the July trade deadline. They brought in Barr, they brought in Cahill to help the bullpen, acquired Melky Cabrera.
Yeah, Buchter, who we saw
Yep.
last night.
Then they fell flat in August. Won a couple series in September, but lost a couple of critical games to the Twins last night and the night before. 1-1 to Castro. One and two. Just off the outside edge.
Yeah, Moore with a fastball, slider, occasional curveball. Came up with the Seattle Mariners back in 2013.
Two. Pop up near third. Easy catch for Moustakas. Final game of the series. Final game of the road trip coming up tomorrow afternoon. CenturyLink, what's next? Bartolo Colon will start for the Twins. Jason Vargas has really struggled after an all-star first half. He's having a tough time of it in the second half.
He had the Tommy John surgery, and they say he's kind of running out of gas. And the guy on the left, Bartolo Colon,
will never run out of gas.
Never.
Grossman trying to keep the game alive for the Twins. He is 0 for 1 with a walk and a sacrifice bunt. Ball one. Behind Grossman, Dozier, Mauer, and Polanco, but Grossman's got to reach somehow to keep the game alive. Seattle has a 1-0 lead over the Angels early at Safeco Field. Two and one. This one with a good cut, fouled it straight back.
Yeah, high fastball right there.
Three and two. Hoping for a chance, but not representing the tying run, even if he does get to the plate. Missed inside, and Grossman takes a walk.
Second walk for Grossman.
Now Dozier trying to keep the game alive for Mauer. Perez to talk to his pitcher. And in case you're wondering, Brandon Maurer has never pitched to Joe Mauer. Twins hope that we have that situation here momentarily. Dozier's 0 for 4. Looked like he produced a big hit in the 7th inning. But instead, Escobar made a nice play to turn it into a double play. Strike one. video has been poured over regarding Marr and his outings since coming to Kansas City, and they know that control has been an issue. And now it's 2-1.
And changeup missing right there.
A drive to left. Gordon with room. And the little 3-game winning streak that the Twins had is gone. And so the Twins lose a half game to the Angels. Their game just getting underway. We mentioned Seattle has a 1-0 early lead. Texas and Baltimore have lost. And Tom Hanneman, the Twins will try to finish this road trip with a winning record in the road trip finale tomorrow afternoon.